You were just discussing the dehumidifier.
Yeah, this is the bit of kit. We may have done a video on this before, but you need this if you're going to have an Annexe, or if you're going to have a bathroom,
Right.
or any excess moisture. If you were doing dog grooming or hairdressing, you want to put one of these in, because the humidity.
So for people who don't know what a dehumidifier is, what does it do?
Well, it reduces the humidity in the air. So
What's humidity?
that's the moisture that's in the air. So if it's, you want it about, if it was a dry day, you'd probably be at 48%. On a wet, rainy day, probably be up at 65, 70%. But if you had a wet day and you were running a shower and operating your sink and boiling the kettle and there's two people in here breathing's the worst bit. So you've now taken the humidity up beyond. So when you start to sweat, suddenly the sweat won't leave your body. It'll stay on your body because it can't evaporate. There's nowhere for it to evaporate to, because the air is. That's why when you, sometimes in a hot country and the humidity is high, you sweat so much. It's not that you're sweating more. It's just your moisture
It's not evaporating.
Isn't evaporating. So you need that to disappear, that water. That's got to go. So the building is vented, but that moisture is so fine that it will travel through the walls. It will travel through concrete.
Yeah.
So it's now travelled through the walls and it wants to escape. But then you're not controlling it. So it might travel into the walls and might rest there for a little minute, and then it can accumulate and it can turn to dew point, and then that moisture can start and do damage.
Start damaging the building.
Yeah, the water. So what this does is it takes it away. So you just switch it on, make your setting, and it will come on.
So you'd set that between 40 and 60%.
Yeah. And it just comes on. There's a slight hum to it, not much, and that will keep your humidity at a very stable level. So you won't notice. If you're sleeping in bed at night, if your humidity rises, which it will if you haven't got a humidifier, not a humidistat, if it will rise and your sweat won't evaporate. So your sleep will become uncomfortable. Plus moisture in the air, there's more chance of germs. So you need one of these. I know they're not pretty, but they work. Because what they do is they take the moist air in here.
Yep.
This black pipe that you don't like because you don't think it's very pretty. And there's a tendency for people to say, oh, put it closer to the wall. But
you can't. It doesn't work properly.
So the moist air goes out this black pipe out, but the warm air that's in the building is separated from the wet air, and that is really brought back into the building.
Okay.
If we show you this fan, because the humidity would get up really high in here if we turn the shower on. Let me turn the light on. If the humidity would get really high in here, if we turn the light, so we really want to get rid of that quite quick. So all this doing is taking it straight out. It's taking everything out.
It's taking all the hot air out.
It's taking the hot air and the wet air and the moist air, but you need it. It's part of building regulations. You need to get rid of that quickly because it's too wet.
Whereas this, you're saying, well, in the same case there, with that one.
Yeah.
But that one is more efficient.
But they're just going to come on. They've got what they call a humidistat in them. So they will come on when the humidity reaches about 80%. This one and that one. So that's really humid. So they'll come on, kick in, and boom, they'll extract it. This will come on all day long, keeping the humidity. So if you were to turn the shower on, boil the kettle, and 3 people came in here, all 3 of these would come on.
Yeah.
And it would take the humidity down to a good level. Or if the humidity goes high, it will make you feel uncomfortable because you won't be sweating properly.
Yeah. I did read that you breathe out 4 cups of water a day.
Yeah.
So,
well, if you go to bed at night and wake up, you'll be two pound lighter, and that's moisture that's gone. That moisture hasn't conveniently dribbled off your bed into a cup ready for you to pour down the sink. It's in the atmosphere. It's in your bedding.
Yeah.
It's in the room. So this will get rid of it.
Yeah. And what you're saying then is because you're living in this, you've got water moisture from your microwave, from your cooking, from your kettle, from your toaster, from your breath, from the shower, from the hot water.
Yeah.
It's actually a massive amount of moisture.
It's like you say, even a toaster, because that bread's
Yeah, yeah.
moist.
Yeah.
And you pull it out of the toaster, it's not moist.
Yeah.
That water is now in the building and you want to control it.
I like hot toast, so I put the plate on top of the toaster
All right.
to warm the plate.
Okay.
And when you take the plate off, it's wet.
Yeah.
Because of the moisture in the bread.
Yeah. And that moisture has now gone into the room. It's not doing anything. It's not doing your furniture any good. It's not doing you any good. It's not doing your clothes any good. It's not doing anything. So you just need this bit of kit.
So that bit of kit is magical at sorting that out.
You're probably wondering why haven't I got one at home? But probably at home, you're living in a bigger area.
Yeah.
But if you're living in a small flat, you'd probably notice. And especially if you've stayed in a caravan.
It's a huge issue for councils.
Yeah. If you've stayed in a caravan.
Housing and flats with poor ventilation.
Yeah.
The mold is a major, major issue. And I'm looking at those news articles thinking, why haven't they got dehumidifiers?
Because they're expensive.
Yeah, that bit of kit is expensive.
But it is expensive, but
but it's essential.
Yeah, it's like saying, I'm going to get a car. I don't want the engine bit because it's expensive.
Yeah.
But if you don't want the engine bit, you ain't got a car. And if you don't want the dehumidifier bit, you ain't got an Annexe.
Yeah, yeah. No, we are that adamant, or you are that adamant, aren't you?
Oh, it's a no-brainer. It's a deal breaker. Somebody says, I don't want that.
Yeah.
And if they don't use it, my own granddaughter thought, oh, I don't like it. She's only 20, 21 now. When she got her, I didn't like it, so she never turned it on. And then I said, you've got to turn it on. So I showed her why, and now she's like, oh, it is quite good, actually. I never noticed that my sleeping was irregular because it wasn't on.
Yeah.
She says, now it comes on through the night, and she can feel the actual...
Another bonus of getting the moisture down is that it's easier to heat a room in the winter because the air is drier.
Yeah, so you've got a big saving there.
Yeah. Okay, now hopefully that's going to help some people. That's fantastic. Thank you.